Be prepared for offensive language from the start and throughout, and adult and sexual themes.
To Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Now, after the sad news earlier today that David Bowie has sadly passed away, Angie has been informed and has chosen to remain in the house. We're going to be talking more about that a little bit later on in the show. And also, earlier, if you haven't heard, Jonathan decided to leave the Celebrity Big Brother house. Our bots cameras were there to capture the moment, so let's take a look.
I feel terrible leaving them like that because I do love them, but it had to be done tonight. Tonight, I felt was the night for me and for everybody. I thought it would be the best thing. Well, my personal reason for leaving was I feel like I came to the end of my rope here, and the house is turning, and I don't want to stay for that second part of it. I just think that, you know, I tried to entertain the gang in there and laugh, and no one's laughing anymore. So I kind of run out of things to do with them. You know, you start to know everything about everybody, and there's like nothing else to talk about except food. And since I'm the most hungry person all the time, and there's no food left tonight, it would have been a rough night for me. So I just knew that, you know, the sign of no food left, I think, was a sign for me to go. Tomorrow night, I'm going to see you on Big Brother's bit on the side. I'm so excited about it. You know, it's a bittersweet, but you know, hopefully I'll get to kind of tell more stories and tell you about the amazing experience in there.
Well, there you go. He's going to be joining me tomorrow night, so don't stress. I'm going to be giving him a right good old grilling, but I'll have more on that story a little bit later on as well. Coming up, the harshest critics are in town. We're going to be hearing from you lot at home in the very first...
What you say?
What you say? We'll be finding out what you said. And Lady C's been on hand to offer some words of wisdom to our housemates. But I'm not sure about the wisdom, but tonight's panel have certainly got some choice words to say about the housemates. So let's get on and meet them. Should we meet our panel? Yeah. Yes, come on. First up tonight are two people that captured the nation's hearts with their undying love for each other. They were the romance of the summer. Move over, Stevie and Chloe. It's CBB champ James Hill and Austin Arbacott. Oh, look.
Nice to have you back.
Do you know what? Just because I can, should we have a little reminder of their special bond? Let's do it.
Break your heart if I move, wouldn't it?
It'd break your heart. If this was taking place in America, there would not be a gay guy from England sleeping in a bed with a straight American dude.
Mental, 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 mental. Put your pants over my head then. Pussy morning, you put your pants over my head. Remember, then you make me sleepy.
Boys, I've got to ask, did we get the happy ending we both wanted?
I'm always happy when I'm next to James Hill. So
I'll take that one! I will be talking to them in a minute, but my next guest is the Airwaves Bossy Boots, who entered the first ever Celebrity Big Brother house 15 years ago. I was only 12, it's been She loves it, put the chalk away. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's start with what we've just seen. Jonathan's shock departure. Vanessa, are you shocked?
No, I'm not shocked. I think he's deeply, deeply insincere. All this stuff about, oh, you know, tonight was the night and I had to go. I think he planned it all along. I mean, I think he's, you know, he's taken a little leaf from Kim and Kanye. He's decided to dip into little old English Big Brother and then dip out when he had enough of it. I reckon this was his game plan all along, and I think he didn't even have any really good reason to leave. He wasn't really provoked. He wasn't at the end of his tether. He didn't do a Leo Sayer and say, where are my clean pants? I'm going to leave. I can't stand it. He didn't even write on the table with chalk like some people do when they're really provoked.
I mean, come on!
He just left.
That's dedication.
He left because he obviously can, and he obviously doesn't need the dosh, and he obviously wants to go home, and that's it. And I reckon he thinks it's some kind of PR ploy. I thought he looked very, very insincere.
You should really learn to say what you feel.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Can I just point out as well, he had his sunglasses on when he left, and it's the middle of the night. I mean,
Not much sleep.
he's not Kim.
It's that boring wood moon, though, Gordon. It's bright. Whoa, it's bad.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
James?
it's fun.
Oh, well, I find it fun anyway, so...
Well, that's the thing,
just
he
enjoy
said
it.
it wasn't fun anymore. And obviously, I can't talk about too much that's gone on today, but it has been quite down in their house today, obviously, with the news of David breaking this morning. You'll be seeing that in tomorrow night's main show. But, Austin, let me ask you, did you ever have a moment in there that you just thought, I just want to go? Because
Never.
You came close sometimes.
Well, the thing is, there's not armed guards at the door. So if you want to leave, leave. Okay, I was in that house. It was very luxurious. I had a beautiful housemate next to me.
No.
And you know what? There's much bigger things to complain about. We have a luxurious house. We have a pool in the garden. We're all getting paid to be
pissed
there.
on the seat.
No,
yeah.
Eh? But you know, at the end of the day,
Domestic.
I can't be
the
kicked
bought
out
him
of the
back,
country.
Put his back together now.
But I will say, I'll say this. You know, Janice made numerous comments about wanting to leave. The door is open. No one's keeping you there. There's much bigger things to worry about. Jonathan's, I can't say it on television, but there's certain circles in Hollywood, they're very small, and I'm familiar with him. And he thinks that his name starts with a K and it starts with a J, darling.
Oh!
So the door is very
It's going to be a fun interview tomorrow night. Let's slowly move along to the rest of tonight's show. Let's talk about the blossoming romances in the house, but the couple that's got everyone talking ain't even a couple. I'm talking about Stephanie and Jeremy. Jeremy said he's got genuine feelings for her.
Oh, come
but,
on.
hang on, he's known for being a bit of a player. Vanessa, is it real, or do you think it's...
Well, there's something about it that's very real, and that is absolute naked, rampant lust. They absolutely desperate to get it on, and get it off, and get it all over the place, and that is what they want to do. That is genuine. I mean, the desire to shag is absolutely beyond any question. That is as real as anything I've ever seen on any reality show. Do they have any feelings for one another? Of course they don't.
Yeah, but they both said, Vanessa, that they both need to back off a bit. How do you think that's working out for them?
Really, really badly. But that is because where are you meant to back off to? You know, in the Big Brother house, I practically got it on with Chris Eubank because basically you've got such a long time to think and such a long time to develop the horn in a really acute manner and such a long time to kind of think, well, I shouldn't go near you, but hang on a minute, but oh my God, hang on, what bit of
Can
me...
I just say...
Which bit of me rubbed against which
Welcome
bit
back,
of you?
Vanessa, everyone.
Nice
This is what the New Year's all about. James, what are you making of their behaviour? You know, like Stephanie said, you know, I've got a boyfriend on the outside, I'm happy.
But then she goes and cries in the diary room, and then she go back and cuddle him. Like, there's plenty of other people that she can go in there and get some support off. She doesn't have to get back into bed with him. I think deep down she's pretending that she doesn't really like him, but I don't really think he's into it. I think he's just doing it because it's a girl, it's the sake of it. Yeah. But she actually, I think she's starting to like him. And I'd like to see what happens over this next few weeks, but her poor boyfriend at home, man.
Well, Austin, let me talk to you. I know it's a completely different situation, obviously, with you two. You two were a bromance. It wasn't a romance. But, you know, you had your husband on the outside, Jake, and how do you... I mean, what are you making of the situation? Because Jeremy is a straight man, Stephanie is a straight girl.
Completely inappropriate. If I was Stephanie's boyfriend, I would have dumped her. I would have called her agent to talk to the assistant, to talk to the producer, to say, look, I'm done with you.
Going down the whole chain.
Done.
The whole
The thing is, I think we all know that Scotty T got to the promised land first. And Stephanie is the second at bat.
You think?
So unfortunately for him, he's got to go for what's left. She's what's left. She's doing no favors for herself. She's doing no favors for her reputation by saying, I have a boyfriend going into the house, but I'm going to crawl into bed with this man who's tatted up to his eyebrows. Just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, but there's nothing...
Excuse me, I'm just finishing.
Domestic.
I thought my Christmas tree walked down the aisle when I first saw him. But I will say, as somebody, you know, all due respect to Jeremy, I heard there were some tragedies in his life as well. And so maybe the tattoos are an outlet. I took the piss at first. I have a column that I write. And I took the piss at first, but I will say maybe that's his outlet is art. It's shit art, but it's art. So fair enough.
But the whole point about... I mean, I don't think there's any problem with a girl having a friendship with a guy, nothing being in it.
No.
That's fine. Do you know what I mean? So maybe I can see what Stephanie's saying, but from people pursuing it from on the outside, she does have a boyfriend, there's plenty of other people that she could make a friendship with.
How do you perceive it?
You know, well, for me, I just see as though getting in bed, cuddling him in the morning, there's several times she's been in bed with him, that's a little bit close, isn't it? Well, to say she's only known him for 4 or 5 days. If she'd known him for 2 or 3 years and they were great friends, great. But she does have a boyfriend and she's...
Well, Stephanie turned around, these are her words, and she said, even if Justin Bieber got on his knees and proposed to me, I wouldn't go there because I'm so in love with my... I'm so in love with my boyfriend. What are we making of that? Well, she thinks it's harmless.
No.
All right, Pilly thinks it's harmless. Go on.
Guys, I'll do the same. There's situations
Well, we know you do the same.
I'll shut the front door. Anyways, you know when you're vulnerable and you feel comfortable and you think, oh, I'm safe with this person. It looks wrong to us, but it's comfort for her.
There's going to be an army. Well, she keeps talking about how concerned she is, obviously, about her friends and family perceiving her. We've got, actually, one of her close friends on the line now. Adam, are you there?
Yes, hello, Rylan.
Hi, Adam. Adam, what's your take on the Stephanie-Jeremy situation?
You know what? From watching it so far, it's just, she's such an affectionate, loving person, and she's very touchy-feely. She enjoys male company. She gets on so well with guys. I think
Adam, have you spoke to her boyfriend?
I've not had much contact with Sam until since the fair show, sorry, so I've not really spoken to him much. But I know Sam knows her as well as I do, and I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Like, she's got a friend in Jeremy.
What advice would you give her? If she could hear you now, what would you say to her?
I would say, Steph, enjoy your time in the house, be the bubbly, fun girl that you are. You'll make everyone's day. From what I'm getting, everyone's been a bit down in the house at the moment. She should concentrate on lifting everyone's spirits because that's what she's so good at.
Well, Adam,
with regards to Jeremy, I would say, if he's your friend, let him be your friend. She knows her limits, she knows her boundaries, she knows what she's doing.
Well, I think that's fair. I think that's very well said, Adam. I really do. I'm sure if this carries on, we'll be talking to you again later in the series. But for now, give it up for Adam, guys. Thanks, Adam. On top of all of that, Tiffany wants to get it on with Jeremy. I mean, there's so many things going on. So Tiffany wants to get it on with Jeremy. Vanessa,
yes.
Could it happen?
Yes, I mean, Tiffany wants to get it on with absolutely everyone. And that conversation about the size of the male members and the relative thicknesses and the likenesses to a salami or a frankfurter or a Vienna. I mean, the whole thing was... I mean, I thought men always think that women have conversations like that when they're alone and there's no male company, and they've just proved they're absolutely right. That's exactly what we talk about.
They've just broken every girl code to go in.
You know, we do have, don't we? We do have those conversations. But Tiffany is just, I mean, she's just gagging for it with absolutely... I wouldn't be surprised if she got it on with David Guest.
Well, that's definitely one to watch, but another one to watch, Scotty T and Meghan had a little kiss. Yes. James, do you think there could be... You know, they've got a bit of history, they've done X on the beach. do you think anything might...
Yeah, do you know what? Scotty T's grown on me. Like, when I saw his VT and he first came out, I thought he's just this lad that wants to stick his chopper in all these different holes and things like that. But I think, actually, the more you see of him, he's got a nice side as well. He's quite gentle, soft, affectionate. You've seen him looking after a few people.
He's nice.
Yeah, and I think he is. And I think he just needs a good woman to settle him down.
Is Meghan the woman for Scotty T, Austin?
Not while I'm around.
Wow. My only piece of advice for anybody going on television as a male: please do not nickname your penis. I believe can I use the phrase?
What?
Turbo
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say turbo.
Right.
Yeah, but you can say dick, babe. We've had worse on this show, let me tell you.
Yours is micro dick.
Call legal. Quiet you. He uses the word turbo dick. I think it's more like turbo dickhead. Was my statement on the first night. But as James has said, you know, all of us from experience know that when you just see a housemate on the outside, you have a different perspective from when you're on the inside. And if everyone in that house is saying he's a good guy, he's probably a good guy.
Yeah.
No matter how he comes across on telly. So he's starting to grow on me as well.
Well, what about...
And I think he's starting to grow in Megan as well.
Well, I think he's definitely growing on Megan in more ways than one.
Megan.
Do we think they make a nice couple? Oh, go on, babe. I'll come to you later because my legs, but I'm getting old.
I think they're so cute. They make a really lovely couple. No. I do. They're from the same background, so they have the same reality TV. No, I think they make a really nice couple.
Yeah,
but no, he's...
And that's coming from experience. I
mean... But he's been really caring towards her as well.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Really nice.
It'll happen. happen, but I mean, she wants all the spotlight. He's a serial shagger. No, they're not cute. They are not
In a
cute.
non-pervy way, I can't wait to watch it. I can't. Give yourselves a round of applause. Coming up, the gloves are off as the housemates square up to each other. We're going to be taking a look at all the confrontation in the house, plus, with them tempers fraying, Lady C is on hand to offer some words of wisdom. You don't want to miss that. I'll see you after the break. Thanks, darling. Sorry, I was just doing I don't know, I might be in the mood when I get in. Now, listen, after a vote of no confidence, he's going to kill me for saying that. I know it. He'll snap me up. Winston became the first evictee of the series on Friday. It's time to see how he got on now he's out of the house and back on the old campaign trail.
Winston.
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 First evictee, it's Winston.
They're a bit hostile, but people are entitled to their views, and they must respect mine also.
I think it could have only been Winston, because he seemed to alienate just about everybody in the house. I like a bit of camp, so I'm going to ask him where he got his coat from.
What are your views on adoption? And I agree that everyone should have their own views, and I totally support that, but just answer the question. Just say it.
He really well and truly screwed it up, and I think it's time that he had to go.
Winston was the best person to go first. He would have only caused drama if he'd stayed in any longer. Not the good kind, not the good kind.
My name is Winston Mackenzie. Nice to have met you.
Thank you so much, guys. You're amazing. Have a great weekend.
It's something I'd do all over again. What a great experience. There's more stress in the house than people think. It is hard work, and you have to be up to the course. Winston Mackenzie.
There he is, he's back on the old campaigning. He was certainly a controversial figure, we all know that. Vanessa, let me come to you. How do you think, not Winston in particular, but how do you think the house changes when someone as controversial as him does leave the dynamic?
Well, I think it's a tremendous relief, you know, because somebody like him is a real agitator, and you could see him polarising people, each person he kind of came close to, and with several of the women it was most uncomfortably close in a very overbearing way, and they were feeling uncomfortable. Then when he espoused his views, and he didn't seem at all to appreciate the impact of what he was saying on the people he was saying it to. I mean, how can he possibly dream of being a successful politician when he doesn't understand his audience or the public or how he's coming over? And I think the most peculiar thing about him was how he insisted it had been a great experience and he'd do exactly the same again, which absolutely shows conclusively he's learned nothing. Nothing from it, nothing.
I would have thought with Winston leaving the sort of dynamic, because the past 2 days when he was in there, it was quite centred around him since the task. I thought it would have settled down, to be perfectly honest. But I was wrong. On Sunday, the theatrical theme definitely continued in David Guest's talent show. That resulted in Angie and Tiffany having a bit of a Barney. So, Vanessa, let me come back to you. Where were you? What side were you on?
Well, I couldn't tell whether... I think Tiffany is dying to explode at someone, don't you? She is waiting to have a reason.
She seems like she's winding, and she's ready to go.
And she keeps saying, you know, you haven't seen what I'm really like. I really do explode. I really do unleash you. You know, I'm just ready. You haven't seen a part of me yet. And then she chose poor old Angie, who didn't really seem to twig what was going on at all. I felt more for Angie than for her. Angie seemed really bemused, didn't
Austin?
she?
I'll say, I've seen Tiffany in America on television. She is a dormant volcano.
Yeah, right.
But with all due respect to Vanessa, you're exactly right.
Thank you.
She's a lot of bark, and we haven't seen the bite.
Yeah,
but it's coming. And have the antiseptic ready because she is crazy.
It wasn't.
And she's going to turn it up.
It wasn't just Tiffany, though. It wasn't just Tiffany, though. During the task, Angie fell out with Gemma and Daniela as well, James. I mean, I get what you're saying about the Tiffany thing, that maybe it's a bit of an overreaction, but then Angie had that fallout with Gemma and Daniela. I mean, she was involved in all three. Do you think that maybe she...
Angie's a diva. She doesn't care, does she? I mean, she's Angie Bowie as far as she's concerned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She doesn't care who them people are in there. She's got her own way of walking and that's it.
Do you think Angie was in the right with Gemma and Daniela? No, go on, I'll come up now. Look, I'm working for the money.
Angie seems to be snapping at every little thing. Now, Tiffany, I love Tiffany. I think Tiffany's swell. She's brilliant. But Angie, ever from day one, she's been snapping. She's been getting herself riled. She storms off into the little snug and has a little moan and a rant. She goes into the bedroom, has a little moan and a rant. The diary room, a little moan and a rant. She's just an angry old woman at the end of the day.
Yay!
That is what she is.
Who's this?
She was just lost in translation, that's all it is. Because she can't understand the Essex, you know what I mean? Well ream, well gel, she don't understand. She's from America.
Can I just say, no one can understand the Essex unless you are Essex.
I love the
I'm just going to slowly walk down the stairs.
Here's the problem.
It does seem some can understand the Essex as I'm up for an NGO award, is it? Let's move on. We've seen meltdowns, we've seen argument, and believe me, we have seen drama galore. James, why do you think they are finding it so tough, this series? Because it seemed to go quite plain sailing the first couple of days, and over the weekend, it just seemed to pick.
Oh, it's starting to happen. The boredom's sinking in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, personalities becoming to clash. Little things are becoming big things. There's not a lot to talk about. It's about opinions, debates, and that's where it all starts. Initially, everyone's finding out about each other. There's a lot to talk about, but now it's kind of whose opinion's right, whose opinion's not right. The debates are happening, so...
Austin, do you think they just need to just suck it up and get on with it?
Well, right, I've got a lot to say.
I'm going to sit down.
Move up, girl.
You know,
Get comfortable. So the problem with Angie is that there's nowhere to hide in that house. I've said before, there's 1,000 square foot of house, there's 100,000 square foot of personality. There's nowhere to go. Confront the problem when it comes to you, Angie, because you can't run to the snug, you can't run to the bathroom.
And then have a cry about it afterwards.
And then have a cry, as I did.
Afterwards, yeah.
Have a beer, hide some more wine, as Nancy's doing, get some of Nancy's bed wine, all that. But there's just nowhere to go. If you're a miserable, I'll take the audience member's comment, old woman, if you're a nasty old woman, don't come into a social experiment with 16 other people when you're locked in a house, because you are essentially locked in a house. Personalities will clash. People won't get along. Do something! Entertain me!
Well, tempers are definitely fraying. The housemates seem to be cracking. I think what they need is some tough talk, don't you? That's what they need. They need a bit of tough talk. And luckily, our latest member of the bots team, I think her name's Lady C, I think. She's on hand with some advice. If only they could hear her.
How does one deal with confrontation? Well, in my opinion, the best way to do it is ethically and straight to the point.
Angie?
Yeah?
Are you okay?
No.
Some people are very persistent and they want to provoke, they want to pursue. You know, they will track you like a Canadian trapper tracking a lynx.
I don't need you to fucking tell me how to judge the show. This shit is for fun.
I thought you were going to be in it.
No, you did not. Because
I
you
did.
told me that she was doing her number, and you said when I judge her to make sure I look at her.
I know that celebrities in the house can be rude.
First of all, you've been running around like you did 80 lines of coke.
And my thoughts on that sort of behavior is it's not desirable, it's not called for, never initiate anything, and hold your ground if you feel that it's worth the fight.
Some people don't want to take this serious.
And other people are.
Because of what it does, it puts people...
I'm not taking it seriously.
And then just let rip.
This has been 5 or 6 hours of this crap now. I didn't ask you to come in.
Okay, but let Gemma
I'm leaving.
No,
there's nothing.
in front of me.
There's nothing to be said. Stay away from me.
Sometimes if you're in the mood to let it pass, let it pass.
I'm sorry.
And if you're in the mood to not let it pass, don't let it pass. Never forget that you should have principles, never stray over certain lines, and give better than you get.
Lady C, it's Her Majesty on the line.
Oh, my dear, I'm sorry, I'm awfully busy. Would you please ask her to call back some other time?
Of course, Lady C, of course. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty.
Put the phone down on the Queen. Vanessa, do you think that advice would help?
No, I think it's a load of absolute tosh, I really do. I mean, it's not about principles or anything of the sort. It's about exactly as Austin, my colleague, my honourable colleague, says, it's about having fun. It's about being nice. It's about not exploding over every little tiny thing. It's about remembering your mum and your grandma are watching you, maybe your kids. It's about behaving like a decent person. It's not about staking out warfare and hunting people down. That's ridiculous.
This is the problem. Austin, I mean, they've started the clashing already. Where does it go from here?
Do you know what? On day 4, we were having a wonderful time.
And look how your series ended up.
Hey.
Do you know what? You're not going to get...
Hold on. But on day 4 of 2016, everybody wants to leave.
I know.
Everyone's getting paid. You have a heated... Again, it all goes back to why in the world did you sign up for this show if you don't want to be here?
Everyone's like, I don't want to be here. I mate, you're right. James, can the house recover from the dramas of the weekend? Do you think they'll get back on track?
The only way to get on with it is by getting on with it. Put the shit behind you. Make friends, get on with it. You're not going to get on with everybody. You've got to balance the personalities. You can avoid people. You don't have to, like, carry on. You can make new friends.
It is
what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Give a round of applause. Still to come, we have got a sneak peek of this week's shopping task. Plus, we turn a small part of the show over to you lot. Apparently, it's not all about me. Whatever. We're going to be hearing what you made of the biggest talking points of the week so far. See you after the break. I feel like I'm back in the house or something. It's quite scary. It's quite scary. Yeah! Oh, shut up! Oh, my God. Okay. Oh. Dear Rylan, sorry you finished 5th on the X Factor. It's time now for tomorrow's headlines in today's news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it!
And for today's news, we turn our attention to Stephanie and Jeremy. Will they? Won't they? Should they? Shouldn't they? Another day and another bit of furious flirting.
Jess, what can we do today?
Can we go to the cinema?
Yeah, then what we can do?
Go for some dinner, maybe to a nice restaurant after.
Yeah, then what?
Introduce you to the family.
Hold up. There's no letting up. Have a look.
Babes. Babes. Have you not done it milky?
No, sorry.
Is that okay?
I have to give that to David.
Jeremy, I'm starting to think even you're most the right guy to marry.
Why? Fuck off, Nance.
I've got a whip, Nance. Demanded me a cup of tea, me coffee, and I got it.
Where's Kirsty?
Yeah.
David, where is he?
But they're just good friends, remember? Now, we're going to get serious news now. Musical legend David Bowie sadly passed away. After his ex-wife Angie was told the news, she decided that she wanted to stay in the house, and she was comforted in the diary room by John and David at 12:33.
I'm just really...
Are you going to be all right?
Yeah, I'm going to be fine. I just...
Angie,
I don't
I'm so
want the
sorry.
press to get to me. I want to...
Well, you're right here.
Well, you're
to be
here. Well,
Right
you're
here.
okay.
But I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. If I
Stay.
don't leave, I look callous. If I stay, I look callous. You know what I mean?
No, that's not true.
Darling, just
We're right here.
We're right here. It's all good.
Thank you so much.
And we just want Angie to know that we fully respect her decision. And finally, after Jonathan's departure from the house, the remaining residents struggled to make sense of his exit.
It's amazing how close people can be just by putting them in a house together for a bit.
I'm choked.
No, it's not that. He's your mate.
It was a friendship.
He's your mate.
You
He
know
was
what
so
I mean?
down to
I was-
earth though for what he could have been. That's
Oh,
why I'm
God,
shocked.
he was
Like
amazing.
he's like one of my mates back home. The banter around him.
choking,
He's
isn't
funny.
it?
He was funny as hell.
And I'm like, everyone will leave, and of course, we have to eliminate
hard to
people.
watch
But
someone
he
to
deserves
go.
he deserves the crowds.
He does. He deserves the crowd to see him because he's fucking good fun.
He's fucking amazing.
But he's not about that. He's not about the crowds and the people. We don't...
So it's definitely been a bit of a day in that house. And that was today's news. There we go. Now stop the press. Hold the front page and refresh your Twitter feed because for the very first time this series, it's time for...
What you say? What you say?
She's the straight-talking journo with an eye for a story, and she's not afraid to speak her mind, casting her expert eye over the latest goings-on in the house. Give it up for Vanessa Feld!
Thank you very much.
Touch me. Touch me,
I will.
Beautiful.
There is an awful lot to write about. I mean, the papers are all over this series of Celebrity Big Brother, aren't they?
They're all over it. You're going to be
over it.
You're going to be giving us like your latest.
I certainly am.
Look on the house. Should we have a look at the first one?
Let's do this. So big headline. Unsurprisingly, Angie Bowie to stay in Celebrity Big Brother after being informed of tragic death of ex-husband David. I mean, this is, as she quite rightly said there in that clip, very difficult.
Yeah.
For her, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
if she stays, you know, people think, how could she possibly stay? After all, he is the father of her son, even if she's estranged from her son and was divorced from him for many, many years. You know, why would she not leave? On the other hand, why would she leave? You know, she's an independent person.
Yeah.
She can do her grieving in the Big
been
Brother
14
house.
years.
And I do believe her when she says it's a sanctuary from the press. You know, she can't be hounded in there.
I totally appreciate
you know,
that.
otherwise, imagine every journalist in the world on her doorstep trying to, you know, hunt her down. So I do understand her staying.
Talking about this story, it's been a massive talking point today. Following the sad news of David Bowie's death, we can confirm that Angie was informed off camera by her representative. She has taken the decision to continue in the programme. The decision to remain in the house is entirely her choice. She has been given the option to leave at any time if she changes her mind. Appropriate support will be available to Angie at any time if needed. That's just a statement we obviously wanted to get out there. How difficult do you think it is going to be for her to cope with this in there now? Because it is, you know, like life goes on and the show goes on.
I think it's going to be monumentally difficult, but I also think we've all heard her say she lives alone. She says she spends a great deal of her time alone, and it may well be that being surrounded by people in the Big Brother house is going to be the best possible environment for her to work through this. And I also think there are lots of characters and individuals in there who will be very understanding, very empathetic, and really will be able to offer her support and encouragement. And I think maybe she will have made one of the best decisions of her life deciding to stay.
And in all due respect, I mean, from being a contestant on the show myself, the duty of care on this show is great, and there's always people if you do need to talk to
Definitely,
someone.
nobody has to worry about whether she's going to be very carefully and professionally looked after. She certainly will be, but I hugely feel for her, and I think, you know, what news to have in those circumstances when really it's essentially a light-hearted television show.
Very sad.
It's a very, very sad
It's
thing,
sad.
and, you know, people all over the world are in mourning because of the death of David Bowie.
Well,
Very
we
sad.
hope we've cleared up some bits about today regarding Angie.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our
yes,
next story.
more
What have we got
headlines,
next?
more big headlines. This is Celebrity Big Brother. Tiffany Pollard feels left out by her fellow housemates.
Oh, OK. What are we getting from that, then?
Well, she's been determined to say she's left out from the very beginning, hasn't she? I can't bond with anyone, I don't identify with anyone. That's been one of her big things. I'm a street person, they're not street. I'm American, they're not American. Come from this part of New York, they don't get me, they don't understand me. She wants to be alone.
Why?
She just wants to. She wants to be...
Do you think that?
Yeah,
people,
I think she's brought it on herself. I don't think she has to be left out. And actually, when she was having that girly chat about blokes and their equipment and all of that, she wasn't left out at all.
I mean, she was fully in there.
Completely in there.
Why do you think she's finding it so hard, then?
I don't think she is finding it hard. I think Austin's right that she's this unexploded volcano. She wants to get herself in a position whereby she can go on the attack. And if she just enjoys everybody's friendship, she can't attack them.
Well, you say friendship. She's got a bit of a soft spot for Darren. She did a
know.
couple of...
and Jeremy.
a couple of them. She had a little spritz
Yeah.
Do we think she might...
That spritz was absolutely hilarious. Imagine
We've all done it, though, haven't we?
on the telly,
We've all
though.
done it.
On the telly, spritzing your lady garden on the telly. That's not nice, is it? So her mum should have told her not to do that, don't you think, before she went
Do you
in?
think after the spritz sesh tonight we saw shit, things might be on the up for her?
Let's hope she chirps up eventually.
Let's hope she chirps up
So there have been all
hopefully
sorts
that
of
it doesn't
tweets
sting.
about her. Do you want to hear what
let's
people
have
are
a look
tweeting?
at some tweets.
OK,
What
so
we
this is
got?
Dylan, and Dylan says, thank God Tiffany has immunity, as I think potentially she could have been nominated to go. Matthew says, I can't wait for Tiffany to blow New York style.
Oh, it's Matthew from last year.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says...
year before, sorry.
Yeah, she's going to whoop some arse, he
Oh.
says. Oh.
Who's asked, do you think's next on the
I
list?
think she might get very cross with Nancy. I think someone's going to get cross with Nancy at some point, don't you, really cross?
Well, Jonathan was getting quite cross with
That's
Nancy a couple of times.
Or possibly Daniela.
Oh, don't.
Maybe.
God forbid.
If that happens, it will be explosive beyond belief.
I mean, then we're all out of a job.
Yeah.
Well, listen, they've been in that house, almost a week. The masks definitely coming off. First impressions are well and truly out of the dining room door. So we thought it was time to do a little online poll like we did last week and ask you who's your favourite housemate. You've got the results.
I do.
Let's
I have
do
the
it.
results. In third place, Gemma, with 12% of the vote. In second place, Scotty T, with 16% of the vote. And in first place, John, with 18% of the vote.
He was first last week.
Yes, but Stephanie's no longer in the top three, is she?
Stephanie's not there.
Stephanie slid from the top three. Is it because people don't believe her when she's crying 1 minute and snogging the next minute? Is that what it is?
I couldn't possibly.
Could it be that?
Are you shocked that them three are up there?
No, I'm not shocked. I think Gemma's coming over brilliantly well.
I think she's coming
I think
across really
Gemma's
well, in all fairness.
fantastic. I love her.
I think we've got time for one more headline.
OK.
What have we got? It's about Stephanie?
Yes, Celebrity Big Brother 2016, Stephanie Davis breaks down in tears over Jeremy McConnell relationship suspicion.
I mean, that's salacious.
Do you want to know what the tweeters are saying about
Have people
that?
tweeted?
Yes, Siobhan is saying Steph cries about people thinking her relationship with Jeremy is inappropriate and then hugs him and kisses him in bed. Really? And Paige Pritchard says, generally think at Steph Davis sees Jeremy as a friend and is just missing her boyfriend, but he definitely wants more.
Well, what do you think? Do you think he does want more and she don't?
I think they both want more. And I think she wants more and then she cries and then she goes back for a bit more.
They ain't going to argue with you.
A lot more.
We should do this again.
I'd love to do this again. It's
You're
great
welcome
fun.
on my couch whenever you
Thank
want.
you
Give
so
it up for
much.
Vanessa Bell.
Thank you.
Love that. Coming up, I've got some very exclusive house action for you as David has been trying his hand at matchmaking. Plus, we'll be taking a look ahead to the coming week. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. It's time for a bit of exclusive house action. Let's have a little look.
Do you love him? I think you do.
I like him.
You like him? She likes you, she said.
Oh my God,
Oh my
David,
God.
are
I
you
said, do you love him? She
joking?
said, I like him.
David.
But with a lot. No, but it's good for him to know. Come here. Give her a little kiss.
Oh my God,
I mean,
David.
What's wrong with your emotion? When I was your age, we'd do more than that. Oh.
I think David Guest's been taking some tips off of Gemma Collins. Vanessa?
Yes.
What are we making of that?
Well, David Guest is an actual friend of mine. I mean, a real-life friend, not just a celebrity pal.
Oh,
but a
pick that
mate.
one up,
He is my friend. And he's, I've been to his house, he's been to my house lots of times, and that is his nature. He's a well-meaning interferer. He really is. So he will, with the best possible intentions, get stuck in and say, you should be with him and he should be with you. And
do you think it's going to happen?
He wants everyone to
think it
live
is.
happily ever after. That's all David wants. So I think if David has picked up on it and he's there watching them, I reckon there's something going on there. Why not?
I think Scotty just want to get into the hole.
The what?
Inside the hole.
Okay. Let's just quickly move on. It's time now to look ahead to the coming week's action. Thank you. Right, now, big news. Nominations are happening. It's all going on. Happening in the house tonight. And let's not forget, as we said earlier, Tiffany is immune. So, Vanessa, let's come straight back to you. Do you think she's in trouble?
Yeah. Who? What? Who is in trouble?
Do you think?
Nancy. I think Nancy is in trouble. It's the thing about hiding the wine away. It's the thing about looking a bit superior. It was when she said to Stephanie, sort of, I'm up here and you're down there. Nobody liked that very much. So I reckon she might be in trouble. On the other hand, she was quite brave in the prison thing.
Yeah, I mean, she just
didn't
went
make
for
any
it.
fuss.
No.
She does look beautiful.
Oh, she's stunning.
I think she looks amazing. So, I mean, I don't know who else is in trouble if it's not Nancy, really.
James?
Do you know what I thought? Angie could have been in trouble after what's happened. I think we're going to now protect her.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a lot of friction with Nancy and a lot of the housemates. I think she could be in trouble.
You think Nancy will be? Austin?
Well, during the task, Nancy decided to come dressed like a Christmas bauble, which I thought was interesting. Angie is a crazy bitch, and her pigtails might be pulled a little bit too tight. I definitely think she's in trouble. Love Jim. I'm looking along the wall here. But, you know, David, he looks like he could use a Baraka or a vitamin C or a multivit.
Oh, stop it.
With all due respect, listen. Now, I just want to say,
kind-hearted.
Right, but I don't know him, so I can only, as a viewer, as I've seen, he is like a kind of bobblehead and goes from one situation to the next, putting his nose in.
You've actually got...
In a good way.
In a good way. Yes, in a good way.
But do you think that's going to go with him? Because where you're saying he's moving between groups, do you think that means he won't get any nominations?
He tells everybody that he loves them. He tells everybody that they're right. And I think that kind of neutrality is just not...
He's a genuinely friendly guy, I think. Yeah, he just likes to talk, likes to meet and speak to people.
So you think Nancy's in trouble?
I think
obviously it's going to be more than one up. Who else do you think might be on the line?
It's hard to know. I don't know whether Daniela might have seemed to be a bit snappish, maybe a little bit feisty. Maybe some people haven't liked that.
There's not really been many more arguments, is there really?
Have they so far?
No one's not been much more friction.
So you think it could be Nancy or Angie?
I don't think it'll be Angie because of the bereavement that she's just suffered. I think it'd be really horrible to turf her out now. I don't think that.
Does anyone else think anyone else?
I think Nancy.
I'll come up to you, bro.
I think, is it Christina? See, I still don't really know her name. I literally, I've watched the show for years and it's the only person I can't remember her name. I haven't even seen her in the show.
She had obviously a massive moment last week with announcing her pregnancy.
But she's so forgettable. So I think she might fade. She might fade to go through because people won't actually think about her.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Maybe Jeremy, because the girls may come to Stephanie's aid and think, get him out to save her and to protect her relationship with her boyfriend on the outside.
I love it. Oh, that's interesting. I was sorry, anyone else? Stephanie, someone.
Steph's in trouble. I think everyone's had enough of all the crying, the tears, the tantrums about her boyfriend. At the end of the day, if you don't want to go there, don't go there. I think everyone will nominate her. I think she'll be up this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Steph's going to walk.
Why?
Because I think she'll just feel really bad. She'll get so upset and then she'll just walk. Because she'll feel bad. They'll make her feel bad.
You reckon?
I think they're the housemates.
I can't have any more walkers. I can't do it. Well, as you know, John's got to nominate face to face. He's the only housemate to do so. He got that ever so lovely gift. James, how hard do you think he's going to find that? Everyone else can nominate in the diary room. He's got to do it face to face.
Some people find it easy and that ruthless, but I found it hard to actually tell someone how you feel to the face, because you don't hate anybody in there, do you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's not nice to do things like that to someone's face.
Who do you think he's going to go for?
Oh God, I don't know. I think maybe. What do you think, Nancy and?
Yeah, I think it's Nancy. I think Nancy's going to be.
Nancy and. I don't know. No,
I do say about Christina as well, because she had a few running. Christina, she's a little bit, and she's on the fence a little bit. She's not really coming forward and getting involved, and they're the people forget, don't they? It's the people, even if you're having an argument or you're having some form of disagreement, people like a bit of that action, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People remember that. People want to see fireworks. But I think in terms of people in the house that have been, falling out with people, I think Nancy seems to be.
Well, we ain't got long to wait because we're going to find out tomorrow. Yay! Well, listen, let's look ahead to the week that is coming. Housemates are going to be facing their first shopping task. And I can give you a little exclusive sneak peek as to what they'll be up to. But I need to get some friends. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to grab this. I don't know if you recognise these little fellas, but there's a little mini Emma and a mini Riley. So these two, hang on, I'm going to have to switch us over because I always stand on that side with Emma and make it official. So look, there we are. The housemates are going to be split into two groups. Half are going to be puppets and the other half are going to be puppet masters. That's going to be great. So we've got us two here. Clearly, Emma would be in charge of me. You just completely know that. But straight up, Austin, who do you think would make a good pairing? Who would you like to see as a master? Who would you like to see as a puppet?
Ooh.
This could be good.
Well, Tiffany is very mischievous, so I feel like her pulling the strings would be great. And Nancy would have none of it.
Nancy would have
none of it. So I think that would make for entertaining. That would make it for entertaining television.
Vanessa?
And I'll just say as well, as far as Nancy being evicted, I don't think she thinks she's above everyone, but she's very educated. She's very well traveled. She's very well spoken. She's speaking 4 languages. I'm not saying that puts her above anybody, but she does have a higher level of intelligence than some of the other housemates.
I'm so gutted to say
Clearly.
we've run out of time. I know, I'm so sorry, but listen, that is it. Give him a round of applause. That is all I've got time for tonight. A massive thank you to my panel and a fantastic audience. Thank you. You can turn over to 5-star now for your final fix of house action in live from the house. I'll be back here tomorrow night at 11 p.m. with Michelle Heaton, Russell Grant, and Dan Watton's going to be here. Don't miss the main show. Night night.